Welcome back. Nigeria plans to raise about 20 billion naira worth of green bonds this year, according to the Minister of Environment, Amina Mohammed, and the Minister of Finance last week in the nation's capital, Abuja. This is to help fund renewable energy projects, among other things. So they met with an advisory group comprising of financial experts, financial investment analysts, as well as regulators to talk about the nitty-gritty around it. So we're talking about that on the program with Kayode Omoshebi, who is an investment analyst at ARM Securities. He'll be taking a look at it from a local investor's perspective. Kayode, good morning. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, good morning, Arish. How are you doing?
So it's a lot is still, a lot of conversation still going on with regards to this green bonds. And as I already said, we're talking about it from a local investor's perspective. How do you think they will be part of this particular issuance?
Okay, first is, a bond, when you just for the sake of the viewers, so a bond with a green bond, it basically just signifies that the proceeds raised from the issuance are basically tied to projects that basically benefit the environment. So the government is looking to raise this actually to move. And this came about as a fallout of the last global climate agreement. But what is more important is the fact that the green bonds carry the same rating as the rating of the issuer. So you have the federal government who is actually issuing the green bond. So basically, the green bonds rating is going to be the same thing as the rating of the federal government, which is more a low-risk investment. So for local investors, one is the fact that you actually still invest in the federal government. Your risk is not like you're taking more risk in investing in the green bond. And another part is the fact that it's more like a project bond. So it's tied to a particular project. And the government has given us projects. There's one about the environment, which is deforestation. It's talking about moving into biofuel for agriculture and the off-grid solar. And they're looking at saving about 475 metric tons from that. So it's about responsible investment. Just the way you have people looking into sustainability, corporate governance. Coming into a green bond actually just makes you invest into more viable projects and investments. So reduces your risk of exposures to climate risk. So I think a green bond is just more deepening the fixed income market. As long as you have regulators like the PENCOM, SEC on board, you will have a lot of investors coming into it. Because like I said earlier, it's backed by the federal government and take the same rating of the federal government. So you're not taking any significant risk. And then in terms of checks and balances, so you have a lot of boards, and it's a global agreement. So you have the Climate Board Initiative that actually supervises green bonds, and you have to report on the use of proceeds. So that gives more checks and balances and allow investors, give them more comfort into investing in a green bond because it's more for viable projects and a cost-saving measure.
All right. So, but Kayode, do you think that this would be a good portfolio mix now, for instance, for pension fund administrators, the banks, other financial institutions?
Yes, I think so because like I said earlier, it's more tied to a project. So instead of just investing in the FGM bonds, mostly just to fund the budget or current expenditure, you're basically investing into a project where you can actually do your own analysis and actually tie all the cash flow, and you're very comfortable with whatever the project is going into. So it basically just brings that sort of diversification. And then even in terms of rating, and the good thing is the fact that you're still kind of the same rating as the federal government. And then there might be, if you look at some other countries that have issued green bonds, there seems to be some tax benefits and advantages for investors who invest in green projects. So if that comes to play in Nigeria too, then it's actually an advantage for companies to actually invest in the green bonds.
But then what is the yield curve and tenor that local investors will be really interested in?
Well, on a normal terms, a green bond goes for, because of the project tied to it, which is not that short, you see mostly between 5, 10, 20-year bonds. That's what you see for a green bond. And I'm sure, I think the government will be looking at between that tenor of 5, 10 to 20, just like the same area government. So I think a 5 to 10-year bond, basically, by local investors, we're very comfortable investing in that.
All right, Kayode, thank you so much for joining us on the program and, of course, sharing your thoughts with us on this particular conversation, which will continue in the coming days. But thank you for your perspectives. Kayode Omoshebi is an investment analyst with AfriInvest, joining us there to give us his thoughts on the green bonds. Of course, the federal government plans to float a 20 billion naira worth of that bond to fund renewable energy projects. And he says it's a perfectly good mix for most financial investors who are looking to divest their portfolios. But that's it on today's edition of Business Morning. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Harriet Agbini. Have a profitable day.